You guys, how's it going? Ginger here, back with a new video. This is FPL Week 1, as you read from the title. I'm going against a new player named Clouds. He's completely Rochester Rayquazas, I think his name is. His team name. He's new to FPL. He had to fight in this tournament. I don't know much about the tournament because I wasn't around for it too much. But it was sometime from November to December with a Galar decks that we did. And a couple people who played really well ended up in this league. And so I'm not too sure how good he is. He's not too sure how good I am. If he did his research, he would see that I'm the runner-up last season, but that means nothing in a new season and a new team. But maybe it does. So this is a post-com because I feel like I suck at live comms, mainly because I just kind of choke under pressure very, 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 very. Did I mention very easily? So it's like I could, but I'm doing post comms to make it a bit more entertaining. Apart from doing these these what's it called? These post comms. I'm doing live com to make it more entertaining, but there's a bigger chance I'll lose than a post com where I can still try to make it entertaining. No, that's not my main goal. And I can also at least put on a show for you guys and not choke away games like a retard. So this is a very interesting week 1 matchup. We're gonna go over his team, we're gonna go over mine, and we're gonna go over the post-com replay. I'm gonna try not to do any spoilers throughout this this team builder part. I want to make it seem as much like a live com as possible through this. So I'm gonna try to be pretty vague when it comes to certain like calcs that I did in prep overall, because I really do go through all of my Pokemon when I prep. I think the only Pokemon I didn't even consider was Crobat. Crobat was the only Pokemon that wasn't even considered for this, but every other Pokemon, and I think Comfey was even like, because Victini and Empoleon, as you can see it from his team, those two just like had no reason to be calced, but everything else has been calced to some extent and looked at extensively. So let's get into his team, what I think he's gonna bring, and which Pokemon I think he's gonna bring overall. So first he has Victini. Clouds did snipe Victini from me during the draft. If you watched my draft breakdown, you know that I talked about that, but who knows how many of you did watch that. I'm not hurt. But basically, I really wanted Victini to mesh with Dragapult and Mamoswine. Diancie wasn't even in the picture yet. Like, Diancie was a Psycho or something like that. I don't even know, bro. It would have given me a Psychic type, which I actually realized now I don't have. I mean, unless you want to count, like, a lot of my Pokemon would get Psychic, like, coverage. Not really, but, like, 3 of them. That's enough, right? It's enough for me. So basically, it's like Victini would have been really nice, and I just love Victini. It would have made me not get Darm, though, and I do love Darm, so who knows how that would have gone, team comp-wise. But yeah, Victini's very powerful. V-Create, I could see this thing, I'll give a couple, obviously I'm going to give calcs no matter what, but there's a couple of things like I would like to point out. Victini, I could see being banded. I'm going to go over what every Pokemon can bring as a set, except for a few, because they're useless. I could see Victini being Choice Banned because Choice Scarf is kind of, I don't want to say bad, but bad. In my opinion, it would clean well, but I just need to play the matchup correctly. Between my defensive core of Tangrowth and Mantine, he has a very hard time getting past those two. And the like the problem with that is I can switch back and forth, V-Create, Bolt Strike, whatever he wants to do with a Scarf. And I also have two Pokemon that are faster, if he didn't have Scarf, that he just can't kill no matter what. So he can outspeed Dragapult and Mega Diancie, but V-Create doesn't do more than like 50 to them. It doesn't two-hit my Pokemon, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And he would get that -1 speed, so it wouldn't even matter. I think he would go for Choice Band, if anything, because V-Create does a bit more damage, obviously. Like, he doesn't need the speed precisely, but I think if he's like a newer player to Draft League, or he's just not as thorough, he might run Scarf just thinking V-Create can get the job done. Which, like, Darmanitan also eats certain Silvally sets. I mean, obviously, you know, Silvally has everything at its disposal. And even, like, defensive Licky's able to take, like, 1 or 2 after a Protect or whatever it is. You see my team down there. You know I have plans. But yeah, so it could also be Final Gambit lead, which would be super funny because base 100 HP, I hate to tell me, but, you know, 88, 110, this is my only Pokemon that can, like, take that. Yeah, like, look at my HP stat. Oh, no. Darm has a very high HP stat. That's hilarious to me. But yeah, he could also run Scarf Final Gambit, which would be so funny. That's always a chance. So then we have Mega Gallade. Now, Mega Gallade's kind of it's definitely a bring because its dual stab is just so powerful in this matchup. Close combat. If he wins the speed tie, he kills Mega Diancie on most sets. He can kill Mamoswine. He can. I don't know. I don't really remember the Darm calc, but if it came with, you know, that 55 base defense, I don't think Darm would be living, especially after he clicked a Flare Blitz beforehand, being a Scarf variant. Mantine, he would be like, he could be Thunder Punch, but I'll go over that. And then Tangrowth is kind of a weird spot, and then Licky just gets pooped on by a close combat. So I could see this Pokemon running a few different variants. I think close combat is a must. I think he needs that for a Mega Diancie and a Licky and Mamoswine. Mamoswine is a huge threat because you see his 2 ground types we'll go over soon. But yeah, those 3 Pokemon, because it's just so immense in power. It's 165 base attack, and you know, with 115 Spadef, it's not the easiest thing to kill in the world, but its HP stat definitely is lacking, and physically defensive, it's obviously lacking as well. So it can be a revenge kill by things like Darm, things like Crobat, an offensive physical Dragapult, even probably a special Dragapult, because that thing is just a beast of a Pokemon. So I could see instantly, like, close combat is needed. Secondly, I'm gonna say Shadow Sneak, purely for Dragapult. However, if he does his calcs, that's literally a waste because it barely 3-hit KOs a Dragapult. And if Dragapult has leftovers, it doesn't 3-hit KO. So he's probably gonna end up running close combat knockoff. Knockoff also just deals with so many of my Pokemon. Tangrowth, he doesn't want Tangrowth to have lefties, same with Mantine. Then he will, and he can and will stop them. Speaking of Mantine, Thunder Punch is a possibility. I think Thunder Punch could come over Shadow Sneak between Dragapult. So it depends what he needs to deal with better, which is Dragapult and Mantine. Dragapult doesn't have a lot of answers this game. Besides a couple, I mean, like Scarfectini revenging him with like Shadow Ball, doing a 40, 50. I think it was like 50 to 60 at best, like a modest Scarf. So maybe Shadow Sneak definitely is a play to him over Thunder Punch, because I think his 4th move has to be Psychic Stab to just hit everything neutrally. Literally, the only Pokemon that it doesn't hit neutrally is Magneton, and I mean, technically Crobat, but not in a good way. So it's a throw between I think it's those 3 moves, like Psycho Cut or Zen Headbutt, or it could end up being switched out for bulk up if he was really feeling crazy. And then 3 attacks, knock off, close combat, and thunder punch, shadow sneak. Then there's Gliscor. Now Gliscor is a very weird thing because in this league, not a lot of Pokemon get toxic. I literally drafted Crobat for toxic because there's like 20 Pokemon that get it. Maybe like 15 that are viable. He does not have a toxic user, which is super good instantly because I have Pokemon like Tangrowth, Mantine, obviously, and chipping away a Pokemon like Licky Licky Darm just sucks. Really sucks. And Mamoswine as well. But this thing has a very weird matchup because he doesn't switch in on any of my Pokemon too well. Between like the chance of a special Dragapult just plowing him with a Draco, or a Shadow Ball, a Spec Shadow Ball. It's just not a very great matchup, but I could also see it being a really fun set because this thing does get Dual Dance, Agility, Swords Dance, and then like Earthquake plus maybe like Acrobatics would be stupid funny, or Aerial Haste if he's not trying to risk anything. Because I mean, besides Mantine, that literally just bodies my team, and that would be so funny to get swept by. I wouldn't even be that mad, bro. I don't think he'd be able to because of the idea of Mantine. You know, you see it, whatever. But I thought about Dual Dance, and I was like, that would be so funny. Or just Edgequake. Edgequake would also work, sort of. It leaves it weak to Tangrowth, but he would probably use other Pokemon to support it. I thought that was such a fun idea. Azelf. This Pokemon is a menace, guys. Azelf and Prep is not too fun to deal with because base 115, this thing can be a suicide lead at any point, has a vast moveset, things like Thunder Wave, Trick, it does get Rocks, and other things like Explosion. Very good moves like Fire Blast, Knock Off. The Psychic Stab hurts very much because 125 base attacks kill, bro. Like, those hurt. No matter how, I mean, it's very frail, but it just hurts so bad, and it's such a good lead because base 115 speed is super freaking good. And, like, it doesn't seem like it might be, but it really just, for no reason, is. So this Pokemon is such a pain in prep because he just kills everything, man. Fire Blast doesn't always kill all Tangrowths, even with its abysmal Spadef. That sucks, but like whatever. And yeah, Azelf is something we need to beat like instantly, either with Dragapult, or like Dragapult. There's literally no other way to like 1v1 that Pokemon. Maybe with Licky Licky. I don't think it gets Focus Blast. Which it doesn't get Focus Blast, so that could be a thing. Licky Licky, unless he runs Crasnot, Power Up Punch. Yeah, no, he's not able to hit Licky Licky super effectively. That's what I'm trying to say. Next is this Dual Water. I'm gonna talk about both of them at once because they're relatively linear, and how those two, because I think so far I've already labeled 5 of the Pokemon that come this game, mainly because that second row of his is utter garbage in every way, shape, and form. I think 5 of his top row. I mean, even 6 if he does end up thinking about Dual Dance Gliscor. But we'll get into that. So he has 2 water types. He did snipe Empoleon from me, as I said in the draft analysis video. I was sniped from Empoleon. But these 2 Pokemon, if they come, Milotic is going to be like a Marvel scale Flame Orb, physically defensive, takes on Mamoswine, which he's extremely weak to, takes on Darmanitan, eats everything from Darmanitan, and we'll probably end up running, I assume Haze, in case I want to set up with Pokemon like, like, if I do end up bringing Comphase, like a really weird something, or D-Dance, Dragapult, I think Haze would be very useful. Haze Recover, and then Scald Ice Beam, Scald, because, just burning things is super nice for a Pokemon like that, and I'm kind of weak to Scald, and Ice Beam, because my 2 Pokemon that eat Scald don't eat Ice Beam. It's just that simple. Oh, excuse me. Even though that's not really true, because Milotic it has a respectable special attack stat, but not too respectable. And the fact that he's probably, I can only assume he's gonna run this just to like have this defense stat of like 5 million, bro. But yeah, and then Empoleon is gonna be, if I had to assume, either Spadef or a mixed defensive set with like Rocks, Flash Cannon, Roost. Does it gets Roost, right? I think it gets Roost in. No, does it really never get Roost? Empoleon? I could have swore this Pokemon. Do I have any Gen 7 OU teams left? I do. Let's just go to Gen 7 OU, and I'm gonna look up Empoleon real quick. I could have swore, because if it gets it in this gen, I never noticed that. Huh. Empoleon doesn't get Roost. I went into this game fully expecting it to have Roost. Okie dokie. That's cool. Got it. No Roost. So maybe Stealth Rock, Defog, Flash Cannon, and either Scald or Ice Beam, depending on what he needs overall. And usually either relatively Spadef or another Fizdef Pokemon, because Mamoswine, so we can take like Shuka. I could also see Shuka for both Mamoswine and Diancie, and able to Flash Cannon one and Scald the other. Last but not least, that I'm gonna talk about these last two. These other three are so abysmal. There's literally no reason to talk about them. One being Crook, and this thing can be Scarf. I think he can make some really good plays with Scarf. Crook, between Quake, I made a joke because I had to re-record this. Thunderfang for Mantine, and like Stone Edge knockoff, something like that, or like instead of Thunderfang, Crunch, just for good, maybe a bit more damage he needs on Pokemon like Dragapult, which he doesn't. I think he might. Sylvales, Licky Licky, stuff like that, whatever. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background, I'm so sorry. But, so I think that thing is such a threat physically. But I also have Pokemon that just counter it so easily between Tangrowth, Mantine, and so on. Licky Licky as well, even, like, as you can see down there, my three of my Pokemon are just super able to deal with it. Up at the top, there's not really anything else that deals with it, hence why a lot of these Pokemon didn't come. Magneton, Darmanitan, Mamoswine doesn't deal with it all too well, and then it doesn't like getting revenged by Victini or Gallade if it does come in, let alone just having a ×2 defense Milotic walking in on it. And then Slurpuff. Slurpuff could be one of two sets. I think it could be Spadef, Citrus Berry, Unburden, to eat a Shadow Ball from Dragapult, and then play rough 2 times, outspeeding me the second time, killing me. Or a Sticky Web support variant, because Sticky Webs do kind of hurt my team if they stay up, because we have a couple speed tiers that interlock and like are really unfortunate for him. So we're at the 19-minute mark. Let's go over my team and what I brought it. Mega Diancie. Mega Diancie is a Gen 6 set with Protect, Dual Stab, Earth Power. Now, this is kind of a weird variant. It's max speed to speed tie with Gallade, and it never dies to a close combat. This Pokemon will never, ever die to a move from Mega Gallade. Simple as that. And Moonblast will kill. Always. Unless he's like max HP, max speed, and in that case, I don't even have to be that worried about his team. That's really bad prep on his end, and that's just a waste of my time. This Pokemon is Earth Power, deals with Victini, because Victini doesn't have Hidden Power Steel, bro. Like, it's so useless against Mega Diancie. It just gets completely crippled. and he gets hit with a Diamond Storm, I get maybe a +2 defense, and then I just proceed to plow through his team. That's literally like one of the ideas. And then like Earth Power hits Empoleon, obviously. Uh, that's really it. That move was there for Empoleon. Moonblast kills Crook, but Earthquake kills me, obviously. And then this thing hurts all of these three Pokemon very hard, and these three, like I said, are abysmal. Has no reason to come unless he likes to run Scarf and needs it for like Volt switches, or like tricks. There's no reason for that thing to show up. It just doesn't do anything overall that like benefits the team less. It doesn't do more than those 6 that I think, being either these 6 or you can swap out his 2 ground types for one another. Malamar sucks. Simple. I have bug moves. I have fairy moves. Get out of my face. And then Manectric doesn't have hidden power, so it sucks. And my electric type is not coming this match. So yeah, this thing basically kills everything in at least 2 hits, obviously, even most of the time 1. Azelf is the only like real problem. It can only kill me with like a Specs Energy Ball, something crazy like that. And if I think he Specs, I can protect in base form. Look at the Energy Ball and be like, how do we answer that? And it'll probably be like Dragapult, something of the sort. Hence why I ran Protect, because this is a good lead, because it deals with Azelf. If he leads Azelf, we don't Mega. We Moonblast as he Energy Balls. We live it, obviously, and then we react accordingly to the calc. I can only assume that we would live that. I mean, I don't know, personally, because we have Fizz Def, so it's a throw up in the air. Next is Dragapult. I'm running a physical Dragapult. I said how his speed tier, how that Azelf outspeeds everything, but it doesn't outspeed Dragapult. And that Azelf, fun fact for you guys, is his fastest Pokemon, which isn't good, to put it lightly. Dragapult just plows through this guy's team physically. Between Dragon Darts and Phantom Force, you're getting 1 hit with Phantom Force. Phantom Force, I can get +1 up on you. 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 I can't deal with Crook. This is why I think Crook is completely detrimental this match. That he brings it over Gliscor personally. Or the Slurpuff set. The Slurpuff is possible. I think that 6th slot is open to any possibility. It could be one of those 3 Pokemon, and that's just how it rolls to me. Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking more of like a Slurpuff, but I'm thinking it'd be a Spadef Slurpuff. So I think I would be in the clear, but I wouldn't be able to set up on it as easily as I would a Gliscor. But yeah, so if I get +1, I kill every Pokemon in the game. I'm clear body, so Intimidate Crook won't be able to stop me. I did that also for the idea of webs, and Infiltrator and Cursed Body just didn't do as much support for that Pokemon as Clear Body through webs, and obviously that Intimidate. But yeah, like, ow. I also have U-Turn, as you saw, for a potential Crook, smart as Crook play. I U-turn and I get a free switch into Tangrowth, which, Tangrowth is a super good Pokemon in this game. It's EV'd to take a Scarf Jolly V-Create from Victini, and it also takes I think it takes a Specs Fire Blast from, or it might be the Life Orb or Specs Fire Blast from a Azelf, because that's such a threat and knockoff. I can knock it off, get rid of any item that has Sash, Specs, Life Orb, Lefties, whatever it wants to have. I'm not a judge. And I'm able to protect, get leftovers, and switch with Regenerator, because this Pokemon is just so good. Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Protect, it helps me 1v1 both of these Pokemon because they're actually unable to kill me with Ice Beam because of its set, unless they're invested. They don't have to be fully invested, especially because Empoleon just hits like a truck, and Milotic can as well. I mean, 11 base power doesn't seem like a lot, but I promise you it is. But it can deal with both of those Pokemon, setting up Leech Seed, starting to click Protect, getting my recovery, and the fact that that thing actually doesn't get Roost puts me at ease, because I can now think, uh, it can't recover, so there's, like, if I start Leech Seeding it, there's no going back. Next up is Licky Licky. I just ran a Fizz Def Licky Licky. It's Wish, Protect, Heal, Bell, Seismic Toss. It's such a basic set, I know. But this helps me stop any support variants of Azelf, any burns that might come my way, any Will-O-Wisps from the Rotom if he does bring it and throw the game, so on and so forth. That it's there to chip Pokemon, and it takes a bunch of Earthquakes as well in case Tangrowth dies to a Victini. Next is a very weird set. Now this is where the ginger comes in. This is my Silvally Electric. It's supposed to say Returning God, because this is the only Pokemon that's returning. As I said, if you watched my draft analysis, like, watch it, duh, idiots. So basically, this thing is that 20 in special attack is literally perfect for two-hitting both Crook and Gliscor with Ice Beam. Flame Charge, I can set up Flame Charge on some Pokemon, like those water types. I can set up a Swords Dance, click multi-attack, and then when he brings in his ground types, I can chip them down for damage, so my other Pokemon can revenge them, and they won't get recovery back. I mean, well, that's not true, Gliscor will, but if it's Crook, or, I mean, Slurpuff even would just die. But if it's Crook, he would not get any recovery back, given its only viable recovery is lefties, and I don't think he has the room to run lefties. I think he needs to outspeed the Dragapult. Last but not least was a last-minute ad. Not really last minute, but like just a last-second prep. I just want another Fizdef Pokemon. Deals with Victini's V creates for Banded, as he deals with Bolt Strike, so I could make some plays if I must. And it's also a defogger because I didn't have a defogger before. Rocks aren't a problem, but sticky webs, like I've been over, are a bit of a problem. So that is the team. I've already been over what I think he's gonna bring. I've been over. This thing is just, you know, basic set. Like I said, Scaldair / his threats. So let's look at what he brought. With our thing right here. So there's my team, and there he is. Now I do a little thing. Sorry if you can hear my dog. I can do a little thing that it just kind of helps me focus on what I need to do. I see which 6 he has, and I go back to I go back to the team builder, which, because it would be a tab right here, and I say, okay, so he didn't end up bringing Gliscor, so no Dual Dance Fun. That's unfortunate. And then, as expected, he did not bring Slurpuff, he did not bring Rotom, he did not bring Malamar, and he did not bring Manectric. So now we know that these are his 6. I basically called it, but that's just because his team's, like, his low tiers suck. As much as I hate to say, his low tiers blow. This guy drafted a very threatening team, but when you get past the 4 Pokemon that hit very hard, all you have left are a bunch of loser bad Pokemon. I think he could value off of a few trades myself. So we see this team. Like I said, I'm always gonna lead Diancie. And there's so many like different things that could happen. He could lead Gallade, like, to purposefully stop a Mega Diancie lead or threaten me out. He could go Empoleon, Flash Cannon, threaten me with Flash Cannon. He could go Victini and just suck. reveal that he's Scarf or Banded, whatever, or just die, honestly. Could go Azelf, and do what I expect, which is, like, be a rocker, but also be, like, Energy Ball, Fire Blast, Psychic. And then he could go Milotic. I don't see Milotic coming out lead-wise, because I don't have a rocker specifically, and it doesn't stop any of my Pokemon instantly. And then Crook could be a lead if he is bold, but I always have one of these 2 Pokemon to deal with it, or even Licky Licky. So let's get into what he led. I always went Diancie, and he led Empoleon. So this is a problem now. We're sitting here, and I'm like, I'm just going to Mega Evolve. I'm going to Protect. If he forgets that, you know, Magic Bounce is an ability, we're gonna Scooby Boop Boop Bop him. He chose to Scald. So at that point, I'm like, Scald? Is he Flash Cannon? Like, did he bait out the switch to get a burn on Tang or Licky? Like what happened here? So I decided, I'm like, I'm not gonna risk anything. I'm going Tangrowth. He Scalds, and it does 17, showing he's not offensive. So that means I know that Ice Beam won't do anything. I get Leech Seed now. Now here's the thing. This Leech Seed was super free. I clicked Leech Seed within 2 seconds, easily, because if he set up rocks, like, dope, cool, good for you. Like, you have rocks now. My team's not weak to rocks besides Mantine, which is my defogger. And everything else is kind of like nom-noms on them. But Leech Seed, if I caught Victini with a Leech Seed, I'm instantly draining that Pokemon's health. Leaving even Dragon Darts able to kill him, so I don't have to risk a 2-turn move like Phantom Force and have him go into a random Crook. And then we have, like, Azelf, whatever he has. So now we're at a weird part right now. What do I? Because I could Giga Drain and I could find out his set, if he's Spadef, if he's Fizdef, what he's built for with Giga Drain, or I could. Honest to God, during this battle, I thought it was Roost. I looked at these two moves and I said Scald, Stealth Rock, Defog, Roost, or Flash Cannon Roost, or Ice Beam Roost. I thought he was Roost. I really did. But now we're learning today. We're pretty stupid, huh? So, I set up Leech Seed, and I chose, I'm choosing between Giga Drain and, Knock Off here. Because if I knock off its item, I don't know this at the time, but it can't recover. And if I Giga Drain, I'm instantly just getting some chip damage, and whatever. Or I could protect, so I think I chose to knock off here. I'm almost sure I did, just to catch any, yeah. And he actually does switch right into Azelf. And that did 72 fat percentage. That's so much. So much damage for so little effort. And then we find out he is Choice Specs. So we knew, I was like, oh my god. Oh, I was going to die. If I Giga Drained there, I lost the Pokemon. Physically. But that's how I play, I guess. I'm a risky boy. Now the play is to either go Licky and make sure I don't die to a Fire Blast, or stay in and eat the Fire Blast, kill him, and then switch out with Regenerator. But I'm not a stupid idiot dummy, so I went to Licky, and that psychic did 36. So instantly we're thinking, like, what is he at that point? Like, what is his set gonna be? It seemed I should have done the calc at this point. That was timid damage. That was not modest. It was like a min 42 at modest. So I would have known it's not modest at that point in the game. And I don't think he would have been modest to outspeed this thing, but he was just playing this really weird. And now we're in another weird spot. Licky can Seismic Toss and kill this Pokemon. And it would also catch a regular Gallade. It would catch any Pokemon like Victini, so Final Gambit won't work. And weakening Pokemon like Crook and his 2 water types is essential. So I was thinking, I was like, so what do I do here? Do I Seismic Toss, get chip damage, because he's going to want to kill this Pokemon with probably Gallade or Victini to an extent, because I still think Victini's probably Choice Band. Could be Choice Scarf Adamant, but that's kind of a stretch, like I said in the thing. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? So we came to a verdict. He actually went Empoleon, and I Seismic Tossed. Killing that Pokemon would have been super essential. Just getting rid of it. And then this showed that he was max HP. I was like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming, but what's the rest? Now, this all makes so much sense, because I thought I was going to get Roost spammed, and at some point I had to make the play into my Silvally Electric. He didn't know I had. Yeah, so this is like a line. Specs really just killed stuff though, and Cloud seconded that because it really is. It really did just kill stuff. So now I'm sitting here like I can win this 1v1 with Wish. With Wish, I can just like start killing Pokemon. I can just do whatever I want. So we start at this like weird interface of us going back and forth. We're attacking each other constantly. I'm slowly getting wishes up, and so on and so forth. Give me a quick second, my boys. Doo doo doo. Okay, so we are back at it again. Sorry, I had to charge my headset. So yeah, this goes on for a few turns of just me and him going completely back and forth between each other. Scald, S-Toss, Wish, Protect, Scald. And then he starts like getting whittled down slowly but surely. I'm just kind of healing. He scalds, I do that, and I decided to kill him on this turn. And now Licky Licky claims the first kill of the game. Rocks are up on my side. Azelf is without an item and low, and then my team has nothing but this Pokemon to be slightly weakened. It basically just death percentage. So I'm right here, and now this was a very confusing play to me. If he was Specs, the idea that he came into this Pokemon was weird because I was like, okay, I'm gonna protect, get some health back, see what we can do. So I protect, I'm at 38, and he Psychics. So, I'm sorry, my bottle just fell. So I was like, I'm at 38 now, and he's gonna go for Psychic. And the max roll I saw in the calc was 37.4, or something of that sort, like 37.5, 37.6, in that area. And I was like, that's fine, whatever, easy, I can live that, and I can Wish. Turns out, it actually just rounded up. Either he was modest, which I don't believe he was, or I just got completely bamboozled and lied to, which is really unfortunate because keeping this Pokemon around would have been super nice. But also, he just chose not to go Gallade and Mega and then pick up the kill, which was really weird to me. But it is whatever. So Azelf picks up the second kill, and now I had to choose what to go into here, and I ended up, as you can see, choosing Escavalier Electric. Sorry, I'm doing this weird thing right now. So I had a couple options. I could U-turn out with my Dragapult, but that was taking 22 unnecessary damage. I was thinking Mega Diancie probably lived in attack, but I want her HP for Victini, so I don't lose to that thing. I want her HP just so I don't as a backup, so I don't entirely lose the game to Victini somehow, some ungodly way. But I am able to flame charge this Pokemon 2 times. So he hit Psychic, which did 51, and I was like, alright, so it is timid. That's annoying. So I knew that was a max roll. So I flame charged. I'm now +1 speed, outspeeding it, and now we should get another +1 speed in case he is Scarf Victini. So now he has a couple options. Actually, he probably only has one option, which is his Crook, but he doesn't know that I am Ice Beam to get some fat chip. So I was completely willing to drop this Pokemon. I Ice Beamed, did 58, and he misplayed completely and clicked Stone Edge. I can only assume he expected me, and it was Moxie, by the way, if you didn't notice, you didn't pick up on that. He didn't intimidate me. He expected Mantine, which wouldn't even have been my play in any world. So my Silvally Ice Beam set was completely able to pick up that kill. I said lol, and I got yelled at for it in the chat after the game. Because it was so interesting to me that he chose to make that play. But I guess he's probably thinking like, I need this Pokemon from Milotic when we know we don't, when between Chestnut, better than Chestnut, and Dragapult. And at this point, no matter what I chipped down, the win was basically in my hands. He goes Victini, and this is best for me because he can't Final Gambit any of my Pokemon now. He could have, so I decide to multi-attack, get 50 damage, and he U-turns. So we're not really too sure what that is yet, but given that it's a U-turn, I assume he might be Scarf. Like, at this point, I'm like, is he really dual Scarf between Crook and Victini? Well, like, that would be somewhat odd. But it doesn't much matter to me because at this point we have essentially, I feel like at this point I locked in the victory. I was up 4-3, and he had, you know, only these two options to switch right in here, both of which were met by easy counters that nothing else switched into. One of which didn't switch into Diancie. If he went that thing, I was going probably Diancie. Or Dragapult if he went Gallade. And this thing, Tangrowth. So he chose to go Gallade, and I was like, it's Dragapult's time to frickin' shine. I've been waiting to use this set. I love that I'm running a Phantom Force variant. He Megas, I was like, he Mega. Did he Shadow Sneak? But no, I Phantom Force. He went for a knockoff, about what we expected. And he didn't switch. He proceeded to just die. So even at this point now, I was like, all right, this is game. And then he brings out Milotic. Now, this was a really interesting calc that kind of made me squeal when I first saw it. Because Ice Beam didn't even do, at max special attack, bold. Like, so if he was max HP, max special attack, bold, just for the memes, he wasn't killing me. He would have, obviously, after Life Orb, but I decided to Dragon Dance in this thing's stupid, ugly face. And so he decided to go Dragon Tail, and which forced me out, and I was kind of sad about that, but he brought out Tangrowth, so I was like, oh, okay, cool, you brought Tangrowth out, that's unfortunate. And he gets his Marvel Scale burn, which, so we were correct on that. He Ice Beamed. And I set up Leech Seed. There was no reason not to. Once again, it was like the same situation at the beginning of the game, where it did not change a thing, and I was in a completely free position. Ice Beam did 50, so looking at this, Leech Seed recovery, we got our leftovers already. We can protect here, get some more recovery, and start clicking. I was thinking about knockoff in case he did choose to go Victini at some point. But he chose to recover, as I did choose to Giga Drain, as just a better, I thought maybe it was the better play. And I said that's at 37, let's just keep at it. So we're slowly chipping this Pokemon down. He's completely, between the burn and the Leech Seed, he's completely unable to deal with me. I knocked there, just in case he did end up going Victini at some point, and now I know, in 2 Giga Drains, he is dead. There's number 1, he bring me right back up to full health after all of my recovery moves, and he just has no way of living this next. Sadly, he ended up killing himself through the burn, so I never ended up actually getting the kill. But now obviously all he has left is a Victini. If it's banded, no matter what, he has to use V-Create on this Pokemon. I was fine with losing a Pokemon just to make sure I knew what was happening. He V-created, I was like, whatever, I'll eat it. That was obviously a joke. And then I was like, you know who deserves this more than anyone? You know, the boyz. Even though it's a female, shoot. And so I ended up winning the game through the boy, the girl, who has the boyz, on her little head. Well, they're not, I guess I can't see them right now, but that's not the point. Sadly, Mantine and Mega Diancie never really saw the light of battle, but I didn't complain. I mean, the less I had to show, the better. I ended up showing the guys my team anyways, so we now sit on the standings at 1-0, with 3. I was gonna with 3 differential. Maybe that puts us at the top of the league right now. There's only one way to know. It doesn't. The Kingdras are actually ahead of us. He won 4-0. He won 4-0. He won 4-0. Wow. Okay. But yeah, so now we instantly have this interesting thing where Silvally has 2 kills. Licky vibing with the first kill of the season for us, and Dragapult sitting at 2-0. Next week we go up against, if we check the homepage really quickly, the Elkhart Sawsbucks. That is led by what I remember to be either Senia. I think it's Senia. But this is for another time. There's a regular Diancie on that team. I've kept you guys for too long. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace out.